let's spend an evening together. A little croissant to match my evening coffee. Somebody wants a bite of it. We're going for a evening walk. It's actually almost 6 at night, but I live in Canada, so it's just super dark. And she's all clean. I just cleaned the bathtub, so now I'm going to shower. I'm gonna dry my hair with the Dyson Airwrap, and I'm gonna go in with the Briogeo heat cream before I do that. Like that much per side. I'm just gonna make sure it's really well distributed and I have no knots. And then to prevent frizz, I like to go in with the KMS Team Frizz Oil. It's like super tiny, the amount that comes out, like. I like to do 3 pumps per side, and like I said, it's super, like the amount that comes out each time is super small. And I like to heat it up with my hands, start towards the middle and just kind of like brush it through. And then go upwards, and then I'll do the same for this side. Start at the mid lengths of your hair and try to comb it through, because I find it so much easier for getting product onto the hair instead of just like going like this, because then you're going to cover all of the outside but not the inside. And my heat settings for the Dyson are the highest amount of air and then the lowest amount of heat. It's not cool. Alright, I'm just going to do a voiceover for this section. So I like to go in with the blow drying attachment and try to dry my hair as much as possible. I get it to about 70% dry, and I do like to use a comb sometimes, even though I know there's an attachment for it. Then I go in with the round brush, really trying to get my roots really dry and kind of smooth out the lengths of my hair. I like to divide my hair into 2 sections and then divide the top section into 2. And then I like to over direct, so if I want volume, I will move it all to one side, and then when you flip it over, it'll have a lot of volume. So I like to do that to both sides. And then just really try to smooth out the section. I later went back in with the other drying attachment. This one is like a stiffer brush to really try to smoothen it out. And if you want volume, if you kind of blow dry it upside down, it'll help a lot. And here's what it looked like. I needed it smooth, not fully straight, so it's great. Now it is mandatory cuddle time, basically, because both her and I are nice and clean. I'm still in the bathrobe. But she's always so sleepy after a bath because she likes to dry herself on a towel that we put on the floor. She doesn't like the dryer. And I have tried to put like a little cover on her ears while I use the blow dryer, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference for her. She just doesn't like it, and then she also just likes to run around to try to dry herself off faster, so she always ends up really tired afterwards. So it's cuddle and nap time for a little bit before I get dressed. I used to chemically straighten my hair, and I would like to. I was going to this year, but then I bought the Dyson Airwrap, and I was like, if I get the Dyson Airwrap, then I'm gonna hold off on straightening it this year, because the Dyson Airwrap just cuts down on time a lot faster. But I still don't think that any tool will really beat like chemical straightening, because it's just so much easier. Like, it will dry straight, it will do everything straight. The only bad thing is that the regrowth, really. But it is a really expensive service. I live in Canada, so and in Nova Scotia, so typically it's been about $450-ish, depending on the length as well. And then if they can do a chemical straightening, really depends on the color of the hair. So I used to do a Japanese straightening at this little salon, but then they closed down the shop, and every other salon that I went to has said that the type of chemical that they used is too strong for the highlighted hair. I could do a keratin treatment. That would be about 6 months, but it would remove the toner that's currently on my highlights. And then I also, and I do work right now in a beauty wholesaler, so I do know a bit about chemicals and that whole process, but there's just not a lot of salons that will do the permanent straightening or relaxer, or the Japanese straightening or the Korean permanent straightening. A lot of them will do the keratin or the Brazilian straightening, which is about six-ish months, I believe, or 7 months. I've gotten keratin, I've gotten the Brazilian one, I've done hair Botox, permanent straightening, but right now it's just not doable. It's just because of where I am. I am going to be moving to Montreal in December, which is like in less than a month, so hopefully I'll find somebody there that will be more in my price range to do it. But right now I'm using the Dyson and I do love it, don't get me wrong, but for me it's a lot of like coordination to kind of get all the pieces and stuff, versus like the permanent straightening, it's just like dry and go. I completely forgot that I bought an iced coffee and I left it in the fridge, so even though I'm freezing cold, I'm gonna go and have it now. I always like having like a late night snack. Oh, that's good iced coffee. I always get my iced coffee with oat milk, and then I think I'm gonna have some Chips Ahoy cookies for snack. Oh, that's good. The nap took about my dog's nap, Lilo, her nap was like 20-30 minutes, and she just stayed on top of me. Let's get ready for bed. I like to do my skincare out of the shower and wash my face out of the shower. I think it just works better for me because I will forget to do my skincare if I actually wash my face in the shower. So I rather just do it after, and that way I get the whole process done all at once. Not my elastics. I'm supposed to be wearing these every day and not keep like removing them, but I honestly take them off to eat like I'm supposed to, and then keep forgetting to put them back in, which is not good. I always try to remember to wash my hands before I start washing my face. A bit of water. This one is my current cleanser. It's pretty good. I like it. I think it's a pretty average cleanser. One of my favorites is the Innisfree green tea one and the Sunday Riley ceramic one. This one's pretty good. I'd rate it like 5 out of 10. It's average. It's nice, but I probably wouldn't repurchase just because I don't think it's doing a whole lot. I think there's other products from Dr. Dirt that are a little bit nicer. And I try to wash my face for at least 1 minute. Then I like to use the makeup eraser little towels to dry off my face. And after it's a little dried off, I like to go in with the Blemish toner pads just to keep my skin clear and acne free. And then I will actually also just swipe them on my back or any spot that is kind of acne prone for me. And then after the toner pads, I like to use a more hydrating toner. So I like to use the Laneige Ceramide Milky Toner. That one's really nice. I just pat that in. Then I like to use hyaluronic acid. That is a huge tub of it. And then I like to go in with some fun serums. That one is a honey hydrating serum. And then after that one, I use another Laneige hydrating and soothing serum. And then I use niacinamide last. That one's a little bit runnier, so I just drop it directly onto my face without touching the dropper. And then I like to pat that all in. Then I like to go in with eye cream. This is one of my favorite ones because of the formula and the actual little depuffer on it. And after my eye cream, I like to go in with moisturizer. I've been using this Primera one and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm just trying to get through the last bit of it so that way I can try out a new one. But this is definitely one of my favorites. It's a really nice formula. Really hydrating but not super thick.
Then I like to go in with the Laneige Blurring Eye Sleeping Mask. It feels kind of silicone-y, but I really enjoy it just to seal everything in because I have a lot of late nights. And then I take everything down, and that's my routine. Have a good night.